When I left ashram, one thing that I knew was when I'll go home, definitely there will be a lot of different challenges that will hinder the growth of me in terms of spiritual aspect. I'll be struggling with a lot of things in a lot of different ways. So I knew that, and I was prepared within myself. But when I came here, things when happened, it did not go the way I expected. As in, when we think, mostly we just have it inside our head. But when it comes to experiential aspect, the way we react and the way we respond, it changes. And when it comes to reaction or responding to that situation in that particular moment, only it matters. You cannot just respond to something prior to that event. You cannot respond to it post to the event. Post to the event, yeah, you can respond to a certain extent to fix it or correct it or make it or give it a certain shape here and there. But that event doesn't get corrected. It's something that you do something afterwards. So it is something that you have to do it on that particular moment. That is what the response means. You cannot do it prior to the event. So inside my head, I was prepared, not prepared. In fact, I knew that there will be a lot of different incidents that I'll have to face. That is going to go here and there. When I came here, first thing that I faced over here is that food. My parents kept on asking me, "Oh, you became so lean, so thin. You must eat," and that's the very natural way of parents' way of being. But they kept on forcing me to eat more, and the kind of food that we eat here is completely carbohydrate, more rice and all. So I just ate this much of rice. I couldn't eat more, and they kept forcing me to eat like 2 to 3 times. Not forcing me. Since they eat, they feel like this is a normal way of being. So they keep on telling me that this much amount of rice you must eat. But they do not understand the simple fact that the kind of sadhana that I'm doing, the kind of life that I'm living, that itself makes me more energized, more energetic, or more enthusiastic, more flexible, more agile in the way I am becoming. But their way of understanding is that people who eat more are more stable, more strength, they gain more strength, or they are more stronger, or somewhere they are having more energy to do things. So in a way they interpret it as if I'm not eating well, so it does not nourish me. And in this particular age, they are concerned that it should nourish you. It is their way of saying, but they mostly do it in such a way that this feels horrible, because they keep on telling it as if I do not understand the simple facts. When you do not know and somebody corrects you in some way, you feel grateful and gratitude about that. But when you know that what it will do to you, and then somebody corrects you, that's when you freak out a little bit. So that's what happened to me as well. So throughout this journey, I knew what this food is doing to me. When I'm eating food, it is not getting out of my stomach for hours and hours. So this is that I struggled in the beginning, because of which I had to do sunya once only, because I could not do sunya twice. That's the biggest challenge that I was facing in the initial days. And then I started eating the way they said, but then slowly I understood that this is not the way I can manage the diet, because this is just making me more and more lethargic, more and more lazy, because the body started getting some sort of heaviness that I feel within my system. And because of that, I feel like it is going to hinder my sadhana process after a certain point of time. And if I just simply do it and then feel okay, for now let's do it and we'll see in the future how to reverse it back, then this will be a bigger challenge for me. So why do I go that direction and then come back? So it's better that right now, from here only, I have to keep up with the things. One thing that I realized that when I was here before going to the ashram, at a certain point I was 71 kilos, and which is for my body structure, it is good enough, but a little bit towards up. But morely I feel like I should remain towards 60 around. So this is what happened to me at one point in time. My cheeks were chubby, and then I almost got a double chin over here, and then I had fat in my stomach area. Right now I have abs, but then I had fat. In this particular 2 to 3 years of time, it just made me feel like I'm aging faster. But after going to the ashram, I think I have really reduced my age to a certain extent that I feel much younger than I am till now. So somewhere, that's one thing that has happened to me, that because of eating, because there's a sense of control in the eating aspect, there's a sense of sadhana that I'm doing, there's the way I'm living inside my head also. All of these aspects are collectively making me the way I am, and somehow they are making me live in a much better way. So that is why I thought of becoming more conscious and aware about what I'm putting into my stomach and how am I living. So all this while I was struggling to communicate this with my parents, and that's the one biggest thing that has happened. There are so many other small tiny things when my parents keeps on telling me that do this, do that, and all that stuff, because since they have limited amount of knowledge, so it feels like that's one thing that has happened to all of us, is that when we have a limited amount of knowledge, we think it is all about it. We never think that this is the limited knowledge. So right now, if you see most of the people who ever argue, who ever talk, who ever like do any kinds of spiritual talk or any kind of intellectual conversation, you feel like they feel like at least they know it, they figured it out, but it is never going to be figured out. Always there will be something that is to be learned, that can be added, or that there is a different prospect to any kind of conversation. If it is logical, then there is definitely one more logic that can be added to it. It cannot be absolute. Logics cannot be absolute always. There can be something else that can be added to it always, you will see. So that is what is the biggest concern, was that when my parents have this limited amount of logic, limited amount of understanding about the world, so they think this is absolute, this is it only. And because of that, they kept correcting me in so many different ways. Like one of the things, that when I was walking barefoot on the ground, they kept on correcting, hey, why are you walking barefoot? Your chappals, no? So this is one tradition that my parents and their parents used to follow regularly when the farming days were on. Right now we are not doing farming or any kind of cultivation sort of thing. So there was one point in time when we were growing rice in our rice field. So in those times, you cannot wear chappal, and then you do some certain things, because there are a lot of different aspects of farming where you have to go into the mud. So you have to go into the mud in barefoot, and you have to put the seeds or put the saplings of rice. And there are a lot of different ways in which these people were very in touch with the ground. And when they were doing this plowing also, you have to be in the sun, you have to be in the air. So in the lifestyle that used to be there earlier, it was quite supporting to the health aspect of a human being. So because of that only, even if my parents are old, even if they're following stupid Western lifestyles, I do not want to disrespect anybody, but yes, it does. The Western lifestyle is too stupid. They just simply don't understand what is health, and then simply they do all kinds of nonsense, and then they try to reverse it. So that is not how it works. But Indian system of well-being has always been focused on how to not to fall sick and then cure it. It's better that you do not fall sick. If you see the entire Ayurvedic culture, mostly they try to, Ayurvedic or Siddha culture, they mostly try to focus on the aspect of what you should eat, what you should not eat, and mostly focus on how you should not fall sick. So that is what the Indian way of being, and that is what happened in the earlier days, because of which my parents are still enjoying the fruits of that. But right now they have completely forgotten that. They think that when you walk barefoot, it is like something you are torturing yourself. So why are you torturing yourself? That's how they see it. But right now, the kind of life that we are living, completely in home, never getting ourselves out in the sun, never getting ourselves out in the air, or never getting ourselves out in the touch with the ground. So since we are not doing all these things, and this body is made out of all these 5 elements only, so somewhere this body feels like this is something different. alien body or something. And over the time, this has a significant impact on this gets significantly impacted by so many small alien not objects versus viruses and all that stuff. Usually if you simply go and be in touch with the ground, somehow ground knows that how to do this and that, all that stuff. I do not understand all the entire science of it, but mostly the immune system of you enhances because of you are in touch with the very source of who you are. But when you are separate yourself from very source of who you are, then your body starts conditioning itself in certain way that eventually when the simple things that is there in the source, and in normal other animals are very easily they are managing with that, and when that comes to you, you cannot handle that. So it is essential that we need to go out and we need to be in the nature. That's very important for every one of us as a normal human animal. But that's the one thing that they do not understand, and when they keep on talking to me, I simply sometimes try to make them explain, but since they have limited amount of knowledge, they do not try to understand all of it, and all the time trying to correct them doesn't work, because at a certain point of time, it's not a certain point of time, it's that when somebody is not willing to take any kind of knowledge from you, they will not take it. And one thing that they feel is that since they have spent a significant amount of time here on this earth, they feel like they know more than me. So that's one thing because of which they do not try to open up themselves towards me. My mom sometimes listens to me, what my father doesn't. It is not only because whether I am having more knowledge or he is having more knowledge, simply because also the fact that he simply cannot be as still as yogi, but he has a little bit of compulsion of something, doing something or working or somewhere indulging himself into some activities, be it farming, be it digging or something. So I think there is some sense of lack of stability within him, maybe because of the karma that was there, because of the societal karma where we used to live, and because of so many different aspects, the way he has become, it is not possible for him to be still at one place. That is one thing that I have realized, and because of which it's difficult for me to make them understand about so many different things. Definitely here and there I keep talking, but when I keep talking, it start becoming like a fight. The way I'm explaining it, it is very seems very normal, but it becomes like front to front. They want this, I want this, so it becomes like that. So that is one thing that I have been struggling here in the home, and I think that a lot of people are facing the similar situations where you have to be with the people and you cannot escape here. Usually I used to escape in any kind of situation, whichever it makes me feel that I'm struggling over there. But here in the home, that is one thing that is not allowed for me, because I cannot leave these two people, and this is the only bondage that I'm having right now. Once these two people are not there in my life, then I will not be having any kind of bondage, and I can be able to easily leave anything, and I do not have any kind of I will not have any kind of attachment. So that is what is there for now that I'm facing here in the home. Here and there have been a lot of different places where I'm losing the sense of balance that is within me. I'm just getting off balance, but after a certain point of time, after doing sadhana, definitely it is bringing me back. The sadhana, I would say, it's the thing that is helping me to be always on the track. So I think whatever the situation happens in the life here and there, whatever it is happening, the one thing that must happen is the sadhana, because otherwise at least I cannot maintain my sanity. And at a certain point, I lose my sanity and I'll become the way I used to be in very much in the earlier days. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Namaskaram.